Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I'm being Ashim, Presidential Candidate, People's Trust. It's always a matter of regret when there is a disappointment, and that you have taken responsibility for in humility. And I congratulate the Commission for moving swiftly to communicate this to Nigerians. In the past, we've had election cancelled even when voting were going on. I think we experienced that in 2011. So this is thankfully not a repeat of that. We've also had election postponed in 2015 for about 6 weeks. So I think what has happened is not without an historical example, but we hope in the nearest future that we will get over this kind of hiccups by the grace of God. What is important to me and to most electorates, that we do this election under an atmosphere of peace, and that we keep the unity and stability of this country even after the polls. I would have been more confident if you allowed also other stakeholders to make input into your new dates, since you were calling this meeting. A new date for election has logistic implications for parties and candidates, and even electorates who would have traveled, who will have to go back, or even observers and other stakeholders. Maybe for the major parties who have the votes of their various states they control to their advantage, it's very simple for them to just bring out new cash for deployment. But for parties that are still dependent on the individual efforts of their various members, it's going to be an uphill task. They need to review this. Secondly, we need to know, apart from the issues that you have identified, though you have stressed that you take responsibility that has nothing to do with security, it will also be worthwhile to know whether these issues have been fully addressed. So I wish you a successful conduct of the next election. And by the grace of God, you can still win a laurel, Mr. Chairman. After all, Jagada postponed 2 elections, still got recognized for having a successful election. You have not done badly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. The gentleman in the extreme.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. My name is Dr. Emeka Okengwu. I'm National Chairman, Alliance of Social Democrats. I want to commend your courage. I want to commend your forthrightness. And I want to commend your humility, Mr. Chairman, in wanting to make certain that we'll have credible elections in Nigeria. However, there are some other issues I think that you might need to look at again. And that has to do with, one, the fact that us as political parties, I was actually woken up by about 2:35 in the morning by a chairman from one of my states to say this election has been postponed. But we have, in our little way, mobilized agents to go into the field. That's a very major challenge for us as maybe not too big political parties who control state resources. But what is more worrisome, Mr. Chairman, which I want to bring to your attention, is even the conditions of the staff of the INEC deployed to the field. It is most deplorable. There are pictures of people who, a lot of them young girls, sleeping out, some of them in buses, some of them on bare grounds. I would have thought that part of what you might put in as your logistics programming, now that you have a relationship with the army, is to see if you can be able to get some of these camp beds and tents that they use. Probably get a one-stroke engine generator to make life a little bit more comfortable for even your own staff. So on a final note, sir, the request will be, and I think I stand to speak of some other parties like me too, would INEC also be considering the political parties and what it is going to be costing us to be redeploying personnel, agents all across the country in this logistics. And again, in taking the new dates, is it cast in stone, or is it possible for us to also make some input that can make all this, work for all of us? May God guide and keep protecting you, sir. You're indeed a brave man. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. My name is Tope Kolade Fashua. I'm Chairman ANRP, Abundant Nigeria Renewal Party, which we also know as the Computer Party. I'm also the presidential candidate. I thank you for your honest take on the issue, even though it's quite jarring to many of us. Of course, I've been asked by some of my candidates on our platform whether you are going to have any kind of compensation for the party, according to also what Dr. Okengu said. I also think that this current scenario and what we have seen that in 2011, 2015, and now in 2019, INEC postpones elections, that we need to now begin to think of how to systemize a lot of your operations and go down the route of information technology and technology in general. Nigerians are asking why with their PVCs, they cannot vote anywhere they are. After all, they are now used to ATMs, and with their ATM cards, they can withdraw anywhere. This whole idea of people traveling back to their villages and so on is not only expensive monetarily, but also does not promote the unity of this country. I think we should invest. Let's begin to look forward now and really invest in that process. And we would also want to have your assurances that with the given 7 days or so to the elections now, how do you ensure that you prevent sabotage of any type? Those who want to take the time as opportunity to rig or to make deals back end. We would want your assurances, because again, if Nigeria's GDP is $420 billion or thereabout, that means daily Nigeria is shutting in, like today, perhaps at least half of a day's GDP, which would be anything in the region of $700 million. And so people who have gone to the villages are wondering if they should stay the next 7 days, in which case they'll have to stay for 3 weeks, or if they should come back, and how do we work that out? So anyway, on that note, I'd like to end, and I thank you for your forthrightness, yourself and members of your team, who I know from our interactions with you as a chairman of a party that you are striving hard to be upright and to deliver the goods to Nigerians. But of course, this is a very testy times, and this is also a very shocking news to us. Thank you very much.
Can I appeal, please, that any issue that has been taken up by any other person, let us not, to save time, not repeat them. So we already have issues on compensation for parties and also this issue of inputs into the dates, whether the dates fixed by the commissioner are sacrosanct or not. Next person, please.
Thank you very much. Permit me to sit on existing protocols and sit to align with my colleagues here. Yes.
Your name, sir?
My name is Dr. Chike Okogo, and I represent the African Democratic Congress. I'm actually the Deputy National Chairman, Strategy, Innovation, and Change. In thinking out your dates and all the things going on, persons with disabilities were not considered. A lot of us have traveled home to go and vote. Please, INEC, look into this and see how you can ameliorate the pains that persons with disabilities who have to travel with their assistants, who pay double to travel back and forth. For the Braille, thank you for the Braille initiative. But I must also let you know that the information has not gone round as much as it should. Yesterday, a young man was on channels, and I sent a text to Mr. Wole that somebody was on channels and we needed to address that. So please, let's use this period to also quicken the pace of work as regards that. And in thinking of solutions, we want to plead with the INEC to reach out to Luxury Bus Owners Association, airlines, and all the transporters in Nigeria, NURTW, that on presentation of your PVC, persons should be given some discount, 50% discount to bring them back to base, and 50% to take them back to, yes, I mean, these are things that we should be able to do for ourselves. Thank you very much for your courage, and thank you very much for what you're doing.
Thank you. Chief Army, please.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman and members of the Convention. My name is Chief Peter Ame. As of yesterday, when this news broke out, my phone was buzzing. It was really ringing from that moment in this daybreak. In fact, I was very angry initially. I was very, very angry because I thought it would have been wise if the Commission had called the critical stakeholders. There are a lot of stakeholders when it comes to election partnering and other issues. But in our own democracy, political parties are critical partners in the electoral process. And we should be number one on the list at all times. Because without political party presenting candidates for the election, there won't be election in the first place, based on our constitution. So that was the reason why I was angry, because in 2011 when it happened, election was already going on. We were called to Nikon Luxury. We had a meeting before the postponement was announced. In 2015, we were called to INEC headquarters. All parties had meetings before postponement was announced. But this had happened. And I think from what I've gathered so far, my temper had gone down seriously. Because I've seen that you have acted in the interest of our country. You have acted in the interest that our democracy, our elections will be credible, will be fair. You have acted that a staggered election will not be a national election. For us, I'm very sure that what you're going through, that the guy went through twice, another chairman comes, will go through it. For all these obvious reasons. Because I think INEC is overburdened, and INEC should be unbundled. INEC should be unbundled because INEC takes a lot of work in this head. INEC is responsible for registration of political party, printing of PVC, monitoring of party convention, distribution of materials, delineation. The work is enormous. INEC is even responsible for trying electoral offenders. When we are supposed to, in the West panel, we are supposed to already have electoral offenders commission, political party registration commission. If INEC is just left with the responsibility of conducting election, I think our election process will be more simple, will be more comfortable, and it will give us peace. For Chairman, on behalf of Nigerians, and I've seen what you have done, I want to seriously commend you. I want to commend members of your commission, the 12 members that were with you yesterday, taking this very hard decision on behalf of all Nigerians. And I want to thank Nigerians for their patience. They should remain calm, and that we have faith that INEC will conduct election that will represent the true interest of the Nigerian people. Thank you.